my. Oh my. Oh my goodness. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to your Wednesday. And welcome to a post X-Men 97 episode 5 world. This shit is crazy. My God. I mean, so when I got up, I was like, checking out some stuff on social media, just seeing what was going on in the world, seeing if there was any crazy news or anything nuts that dropped, obviously, for the stream today. And I immediately saw some stuff about X-Men 97 that made me think, wow, that's probably a fire episode I need to get off social media, like, right now. Because, when you start to see people being like, oh, my God, I can't believe they just did that. You gotta get out of there before you see the episode. And on that note, guys, I will say that we're definitely going into spoilers. Like, we're going crazy today. I'm going to talk about the episode. I got a lot of different takes and things to say. We're going to watch and react to Paul's breakdown. Paul from Heavy Spoilers. And I want to see, the breakdown, and we'll react to it, give our commentary and whatnot too. So we're going all in on talking about X-Men 97 today because, my God, what a crazy episode. Hang on, I got to do one thing, though. I was messing around with the camera, and it's bugging me out a little bit. I think we need to fix something here. Hang on, give me 1 second here, chat. Do you notice it? Do you notice that it's weird? Let me see here. I think maybe if we do a little bit like that. Honestly, something like that probably looks okay. Does that look okay? I think that's probably a little bit better. A1 exec FPS with a 20 spot. It's very generous, man. Says, got off work early and headed to the gym. Baby, yeah. Much love from Atlanta, Georgia. Always enjoy the streams. Thanks so much, man. I really appreciate it. Hope you have a good workout. It's also fun that you're not 200 feet in the air or whatever when you're usually super chatting in, so I appreciate it. Josh is purple. Was I purple for a second? Do I look better now? I have a purple hue. Now I have a purple hue? Or before I had a purple hue? Wait a gosh dang minute. Still purple? No way. It looks good on my end. You guys are crazy. Like, there's some light that's coming from my PC, which is honestly something I should think about, because, like, if I block all this light here, there's like a bunch of light from my PC. Maybe I should put my PC on the ground just so I don't have to deal with the lights. Because you see that? Like, you see the blue on my hand? Like, that's all from my PC that's right there. Yeah, maybe we'll have to translucent skin. What the fuck? Purple edges? Yeah, it's probably from these lights over here. It's red and blue, so it's probably showing up purple. I'll fix it. Okay, before Friday's stream, I'll fix it. I'll put that more on the ground, okay? Josh looks like Fat Thor, maybe. God damn it, chat. Looks cool, to be honest. Wait, what? Okay. I'm glad streams are still here. Oh, hell yeah. We got a lot of streaming to do. And a lot of videos to drop on the main channel from the streams and things like that, too. So, yeah, no, we're just changing things up. And we'll see how it goes, We'll see how it goes. But yeah, so we're going to talk about X-Men 97 a lot today. I loved the episode, man. I also think I was right about X-Men versus Invincible. But, we'll get into that in a little bit. I also want to talk about the Joker trailer a little bit today. Maybe we'll look at some Fallout reviews, and that's kind of the schedule for today. It might be a shorter one today. I still think we'll probably go 2+ hours. But we do have a Nerdvengers stream tonight at 7. So if you're a member, come on by. We are deep diving on Superman this month. And I know they released the official look at the logo yesterday, which is cool. I don't really feel like there's like too much to get into with regards to that. But tonight we're going to watch the second half of that documentary, and maybe we'll watch a couple other videos about Superman. So come on by tonight at 7. I think we do them at... Do we do them at 7 or 7:30? For some reason, I'm thinking we do them... Yeah, we do them at 7, right? So we'll be doing that tonight. So I don't know. We'll probably just go for a couple hours this morning. And then hopefully on Friday, we can do like a pretty lengthy stream. Yeah, so hopefully we can kind of push the limits on Friday and do like a big old stream on Friday. You know what I mean? Philip Hatch says with a 5 spot, what are the odds they bring the MCU characters into X-Men 97? So I don't think I mean, who knows, right? Is it technically possible? Sure. There was a cameo by The Watcher in this latest episode. And so, you know, we've heard some rumors that What If Season 3 will include Storm and maybe some of the other mutants, right? So it's possible they're going to tie it into that. But basically, like, when The Watcher shows up, you know shit's about to go down. So that happened. So, yeah, I don't know. Wasn't Spider-Man in the OG cartoon? Yeah, they had a crossover episode with Spider-Man. I think they even had a crossover episode with that Tony Stark, because there was like an Iron Man show, which, like, I really liked the Iron Man show, except for the fact that they blended CGI and hand-drawn animation. It would be like hand-drawn, and then when he went into the Iron Man suit, it would be like CGI, and I was like, ugh, I didn't really love that, but... Didn't see The Watcher? Oh, yeah. We'll show you when we get it. I'm sure Paul caught it. So when we go over his breakdown, I'll show you where The Watcher's at. He's in the clouds when Genosha, there's like a establishing shot of the party and Genosha and everybody's like partying and everything. And then you can see The Watcher's outline. Yeah. Wasn't Josh B voicing Cable? I'm not sure. Also, don't really know who Josh B is. But yeah, probably. Mm-hmm. What? That was The Watcher? Yeah, it was The Watcher, yeah. X-Men and Iron Man crossed over with Spider-Man into Secret Wars adaptation. Yeah, that's what it was. Josh Brolin. Oh, Josh Brolin. I don't think so. Was it? It was the original voice actor for Cable. It didn't sound like Brolin to me. Did you guys pick up on a little Brolin there? You thought it was Brolin? All I know is... Like I said, man, when I saw people talking about it like this, and I was getting like DMs from people, like Geekdom hit me up and he was like, bro, this shit is better than anything Marvel's done in the last couple of years, and that includes Spider-Man No Way Home. Curious, anybody agree with him on that? Because, I mean, it's kind of hard to argue with it. It's fucking incredible, dude. It's really incredible. What did Bo DeMeo do, bro? LMAO, he's unreal. Yeah, I mean, should we just get into it? Should we just get right into talking about X-Men 97? Because there's some stuff I'm like not saying because I want to keep it for my takes. For my takes. Let's get into it. Shall we? Shall we begin? Yeah, we're spoiling. I'm not gonna go like super hard on the spoilers, but then again, I don't know what that's like if you're not, like, if you don't want to know anything, get out of here, basically. Should I put the spoiler thing up? Yeah, so basically we're gonna talk X-Men 97, and I'm gonna first talk about, like, Marvel needs to learn from this shit. This is crazy. Then we're gonna watch Paul's breakdown, and you know what I thought would be kind of funny, but I was like, I don't know, maybe that's like crossing the line. Let me get your opinion on this, chat. I was thinking for Friday's stream, we could do a tier list of the X-Men 97 characters based on trauma. Now, wait. Hear me out. Hear me out on this. All of these characters have a lot of trauma. Okay? And it's one of the things that, like, Elisa and I were talking about after we watched the show was a little bit of like, oh, this character's like, oh my God. And then I'm like, yeah, but this character's like, oh my God. So we could do like a trauma tier list for the X-Men, but I'm also like, is that fucked up? Like, is that not a good thing when people not like that? By the way, threw my Magneto shirt on today without even really thinking about like, oh, X-Men 97 and all that kind of stuff. I just did it. Bo had a cameo at the party. He did. Look, I got a lot of nice things to say about Bo with an asterisk. You know what I mean? Because it's like, we don't know what happened. It just feels weird. It's a weird situation. I wish we knew more about what was going on there. So a tier list. Carl, that's not bad. I will steal that. Let me write that down and steal that and give no credit. Woo! Maybe just for like a little segment, a little fun thing. Josh, I see you're triggering people on Twitter again. Am I, though? Am I? Look, my whole thing on this is like, I think banter is good. And I think that fan discussions, like, look, I didn't say it the best way the other day. After the Invincible account, like, quote tweeted somebody talking about my video or whatever. You know, I didn't use the best language. I think I was like, oh, what's up with all these fucking pussies? Nobody wants to fucking argue about shit. I was a little mean. But the point remains, and I think banter and the competitive nature, that's like a part of fandom. It's always been a part of fandom, dude. So I just think it's really silly to try to refute that. And if you're the type of person, if you disagree with my take about Invincible, that's fine. I love that. Like, dude, I love the banter. I would love, dude, like a real like debate about that, those shows head to head. I would find that entertaining. I'd like to be a part of that. And maybe it triggers some people, but at the end of the day, like, bro, come on, man. Like, banter and disagreement, comparisons, competition, like, that's the spice of life, bro. That's the spice, man. So I don't know. I feel like sometimes these people just want to, they don't want to have any spice. You know, they want a real bland, lame dish. And I got no time for it. Okay. Let's talk about X-Men 97. My God! What an episode. Like, damn. Episode 5 really blew my mind, and a lot of people on Twitter, they're talking that same thing. One thing that's kind of interesting about it has been the switch up on Bo DeMeo. And by the way, Bo DeMeo has come back to social media, and I don't think it's a coincidence that he came back to social media after episode 5. He was hedging his bets, so to speak, because yeah, it's truly incredible. It's an incredible episode of television, and I think, like, look, we don't know what happened with Bo, but goddamn, did he put in some good work. This is incredible. Maybe some of the best stuff I've seen in Marvel in a long time. Maybe some of the best stuff I've seen, period, for a show. I'm not even kidding. Like, it's that good. I think it's complex. It's interesting. So Marvel should learn from X-Men 97. And I guess as a fan, my big question to like Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios is like, do you guys understand what you have here? Like, please tell me you understand what you have here. And there's some signs that they do, right? I've talked to you guys about this. There was comments made by Brad Winderbaum, producer on this show, and he was talking about how the creative overhaul of Daredevil Born Again was done in some ways because of what they saw with this show, X-Men 97, and with Loki Season 2. So going back to tradition, if you think about Daredevil, they're bringing back, Vanessa. They're bringing back the OG Vanessa. They got Punisher. They're bringing back Foggy and Karen. You know, hopefully they don't kill off Foggy at the beginning of the show. That would suck. But the point is, like, they're leaning into what was great before, the nostalgia, and also just the juice, man, the juice of what came before. So I hope that Marvel's paying attention because, I mean, real talk, they are in a sort of weird spot. But look at how people are talking about X-Men 97. Look at how people are silent about X-Men 97 in certain circles. I mean, let's just be real about this. Marvel hate and being anti-Marvel, there's like a market for it, and there are some people pushing that because it's fashionable right now. It's a fashionable opinion to be like, oh, Marvel, they used to be good, but fuck them, you know, like that kind of stuff. And those people, for the most part, have nothing to say about X-Men 97 because it's phenomenal. So I think Marvel should really pay attention to how fans are talking about this and how fans are not talking about this. Like, it's truly incredible. The other thing I'll say, and this is kind of weird and ironic, but this show is for adults, right? I mean, chat, like, come on. Like, especially after episode 5, it's pretty clear. This show is for adults. It is more adult than I remember the old 90s show being, and that show was pretty adult. It was pushing a lot of different things. This show, the continuation, X-Men 97, even more so. Like, I was kind of shocked. Like, we're sitting there watching it, and, like, you know, Liam's, like, watching it with us, and there's a part of me that was like, you know, I'm kind of grateful that he's so young he doesn't understand what's going on, because there's some parts there that are, like, pretty adult. I mean, a couple of different aspects that you could talk about. Number one, this show is horny. Like, let's be real. This show is horny, bro. Like, there's, like, it is. And I think X-Men has always been a little bit of that. And it, you know, the original X-Men and even, you know, a lot of the Claremont stuff, I think it really succeeds when it focuses on angst. And some people interpret that, and I think obviously there's social allegories in X-Men, but for me personally, I think there's an allegory to otherism and to puberty. When you go through puberty as a child, it is the most significant change you'll ever have in your own life, and it feels so weird. You feel like you're not even, like, it's not even your body. There's all this change that you don't know how to cope with. The world around you seems different. There's an otherizing that happens to every young person as they go through puberty. And that happens. And another aspect of that, horniness, dude. Horniness. And this show's horny. And I mean, goddamn, like, it's just nailing it on that part too. I think another sort of universal human emotion that we can kind of get down with, like, it is, dude. And it's really well done. It's emotionally complex. I mean, this episode kind of felt like just so much therapy and characters just going through shit. It's shocking, the twists and turns that happen. You can feel for the characters. Some of them are hurting the other characters, but you understand why. It's like, holy shit, it's very emotionally complex to a degree that I don't, like, for most kids, I think it would kind of fly over their head. It's very emotionally complex, and then to use all of that complexity and then the relationships to build up to this huge epic action moment where sacrifice happens, where there's a kinship among all of them once again. It's like, show the differences, the complexity, the emotionality, and then shake it all up and unite them through trauma. It's like, fuck, man. It's like really, really good, right? I think it's also grand in scope. I mean, we're talking about the fact that this is a nation. You're talking about cosmic elements. You're talking about destiny, time travel. Like, there's a lot going on here. The show, I mean, it's balancing so much. It's crazy. I'm in awe. I'm really in awe of how the show is balancing all of this stuff. And frankly, the pacing on this shit is crazy. Like, these are a half-hour long episodes, guys. And it's like, it is packed. Each episode is packed. It feels like they're not really wasting a lot of time. I would say last week's episode was maybe my least favorite of the bunch, but it's still important to sort of establishing things and setting things up. And it still has a lot of X-Men fun. And then you get an episode like this that just hits the way that it does. And Bo DeMeo, who did come back to social media, said earlier today, this is just the warm-up. The back half of this season is going to, because we're halfway. This is the halfway point of this season. And to think about where all of this is going to go, where all of the characters are going to go, oh my God. Like, I'm just, I'm really, really excited about it. And I can't wait to see the rest of this season, dude. So, absolutely phenomenal stuff. Now, let's talk about Bo too, because again, the switch up on Bo has been wild. Have you guys seen it? Have you seen the switch up out there? People talking about how we need Bo writing. We need this guy. It's crazy. A couple of weeks ago, people are talking about how he's really difficult to work with and all this other stuff and spreading all this like stuff that like, dude, we don't know. Like, we don't know. We're just hearing bullshit. And it's all like a fugazi and just chatter. And then all of a sudden something like this happens. Those people have completely switched up. Now, what I want to say to Marvel specifically is like, dude, you guys need Bo. Like, I don't know what he did. Maybe it's real bad, okay? But y'all need to do Bo like you did Joss Whedon. What I mean is Joss Whedon ghost wrote on a ton of stuff, even after his controversies, okay? So Joss Whedon was ghostwriting. Joss Whedon was in there juicing stuff up, 100%. They even had people like Drew Goddard would come in and ghostwrite and do, you know, some stuff. You need that guy, bro. You need this fucking guy. So I don't know if you need to put him in witness protection. I don't know if you need to give him a name change, come up with a pen name, figure something out, or just give him no credit and a chunk of money for the rest of his life. I don't care how you do it. You need this guy. This is the most competent and complete writing I've seen in Marvel in a long fucking time, dude. Long fucking time. And I like a lot of the projects that have come out in the last couple of years, but even they are weak in comparison to this writing. This is a dude who lives and breathes the X-Men. He fucking understands these characters on a fundamental level, and he's playing music with these characters. It's beautiful. It's an inspiring thing. And honestly, like, figure it out. Like, figure it out. If I was Bob Iger, I'd walk into Kevin Feige's desk, I'd flip over some of his memorabilia, and I'd tell him to shut the fuck up. Bo's on your shit. I don't care how it happens. This guy now works for us forever. Have him rewrite Secret Wars. Literally, have him rewrite Secret Wars. That's where I'm at with it, okay? So that's kind of the other thing. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about here in this little segment is how I was right. A couple of weeks ago, we did a little segment on the stream about Invincible and X-Men 97. And like I said on Twitter earlier today, had I just waited until after the Invincible finale and after this episode, I think everybody would have agreed with me. Like, real talk. And here's the thing. Like, I'm not even going to, like, say it with a lot of malice or be like a butthole about it, because I don't think I have to. I think it's self-evident now. The finale, I like Invincible. Let me be clear. I like Invincible. And I'm glad that Invincible exists. I think the second season is a step down from the first season. But even though the finale was like paced very strangely, in my opinion, I ultimately still enjoyed the finale. And I think the finale shows that the best part of Invincible, and this is totally Robert Kirkman, this is his thing. It's really about the relationships. Okay? So the best thing that Robert does is, like in Walking Dead, it's a zombie thing, but it's really about the relationships. It's about the characters. It's soap opera, comic book, genre stuff. Like, that's what it is. Invincible works and is at its best when it is about the relationships between the characters. And Kirkman does an incredible job of taking cosmic level things or like big Superman scale things and weaving them into the human relationships. That's where he succeeds, and that's where Invincible is at its best. Like, yes, shock and awe and crazy fun bombast and like Dragon Ball Z level stuff. Like, absolutely, that stuff is really cool in Invincible, and I like it. But ultimately, the reason people love Invincible is because of the relationships, right? Well, I just have to say that I think X-Men 97 is doing just as good of a job, if not a better job, on that exact thing. This is so emotionally complex, and it's really about the character relationships And it just feels even more visceral, even more emotional, and I can relate to it even more than I can in Invincible. I mean, if you think about it, in Invincible, right, it's the family dynamic and bad things are happening, but it's separated by like 1,000 miles of fucking Nolan doing horrible shit. You can relate to his mom, Mark's mom, having mixed feelings and missing the dad, but you can't like really feel that because you're like, no, that dude's fucking horrible. You know what I mean? So to me, I think X-Men 97 is doing that just as well, if not better. It's amazing too because these episodes are about half as long as an Invincible episode. And I truly think they're getting more done in each episode, and I feel more connected to the characters and the action and the micro and the macro stories. It's like I'm not kidding around when I made that point earlier, and I feel even more justified in making the point now, okay? On top of that, I don't think you can touch the animation here. Like, Invincible's got some incredible animation, but it's not throughout the show, and I think part of that's the budget and the fact that they're hour-long episodes. You got a lot of, like, cheating, right? A lot of just, tricks. They even make self-aware references to that, I think, in the Pan-Ultimate episode, right? Where they're talking about that. So, like, Invincible is cutting corners. It's not even, like, at the level of animation that X-Men 97 is. And that's crazy because we had a lot of concerns about the animation going into X-Men 97. And, now looking at it, seeing what's actually happening, I mean, my God, bro, this stuff it's phenomenal. Like, find me a singular frame of X-Men 97 that doesn't look dope. I don't think there are some. I mean, maybe there are technically some frames, right? But you get my point. Like, this shit looks incredible. So I think from a pacing perspective, I think from a perspective of character and story and animation quality and action, I really think that X-Men 97 is better. And Marvel shouldn't be shy about that. They should be proud of that because, again, Invincible is great. It's not like I'm sitting here saying like Invincible is bullshit. No, it's more the case that a show that we had a lot of doubt about kind of came out of nowhere and is doing it better than the other things that we already thought were great. And that is just so crazy. So I think this is something that Marvel fans are loving. And this is something that we want. We want the MCU to be like this. We want the MCU to be so good it's basically hater-proof. And we want the conversations about the thing to be about the thing. To be about the characters, the story, the action, the complexity, how much we're enjoying it. That's the conversation. This used to be what it was like as a Marvel fan in like the stretch of the Infinity Saga. Or, that's what it was. Like, that's what the conversations felt like. That's what it felt like walking out of the theater. Like, that's the juice, baby. That's the energy. And they need to bottle that shit up, and they need to use this same strategy with every single thing that they have moving forward. And, by the way, good news, I think they are. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, again, you think about that Brad Winderbaum thing. Marvel is pretty aware of how fans talk about their projects. I think this is a huge win and hopefully a sort of signal to them and a way out of this current situation that we're in with X-Men 97. So I think that's some stuff that Marvel needs to learn with regards to this shit because it is dope, man. It's dope. Sorry, I got a little fucking into that shit. I lost track of time. Whew! Sorry, I zoned out. Zoned out for a second. My God! Bottle it up like Coke. I agree. Holy shit! Where's my compass? What do you mean? At this point, I'd rather it be all animation. Marvel, DC, Star Wars, and the animated stuff has been better, in my opinion. Yep, you're not wrong. I prefer my Coke in a vial. What the fuck? Now your thoughts on Bad Batch. Didn't watch it. Bad Batch is crying in the corner right now. Look, Bad Batch is great too. But I mean, is Bad Batch doing like... Is Bad Batch doing X-Men 97 level shit? And also, it's starting to get hot in here. I gotta roll up my sleeves. I gotta roll up my sleeves and wipe my glasses off. Holy shit. Bad Batch pales in comparison. Well, I just think Bad Batch is like a really good season. Maybe the best season of the show so far. And I'm really enjoying it. But bro, it's not what X-Men 97 is, dude. X-Men 97 is like, it's doing things, man. It's making me feel things. Like, bro. It's making me feel things. Diehard Star Wars fans, it's not hitting the same. X-Men literally made me cry. Bro, it's like, I was shocked at how emotional it is, dude. That beard is looking insane. Yeah, we're getting there. We are pushing the limits of the beard. So, that's the whole thing. You mean the copy batch? Oh, here we go. Josh, also horny, evidently. I mean, yeah. I would never admit, Carl, that a couple of cartoon characters dancing in the sky did more for me than Lady fucking Gaga in a live action trailer. I would never admit that. Baby Lucas II. Hey, you never know. One of the sessions in the danger room was 14 hours. God damn! Hope they took some Gatorade in there. Just finished the episode and I have chills and tears in my eyes. Holy fuck, so good. Hashtag unity. Yeah, man. And the fact that this is halfway through, and the fact that we're, like, we got even more. Like, that's crazy. Can you imagine where it's going to go from here? I mean, one of the things that I want to see, you know, can I show you something? I'll grab a comic book and show you something I want to see. Okay? I think I can. I probably got to take my headphones off. I'll be right back. Y'all ever read Grant Morrison's X-Men? New X-Men? I gotta find it in here. Oh, fuck yeah, here we go. When Magneto goes to New York and he just, like, this splash in particular is great. Or is it San Francisco? I forget, because all those bridges, it's kind of wild. Let me see. I think it's New York. Yeah, it's New York, I believe. Because that's Grand Central, right? Yeah. And he just fucks up New York, dude. I love this double page spread here, but they should have they should have made Magneto larger because, like, you have to, like, break your binding. New York has bridges, Josh. Good point. Not bad. Yeah. Okay, fine. It was New York. Yeah, dude, that's what I want. Magneto to just go crazy. But we'll see. We'll see. Did you already talk about The Watcher? I talked a little bit about The Watcher, but let's watch Paul's video. Let's watch Paul's video. And I'll give some commentary on this as well as we break it on down. Pause that. I don't really want that on there. Boom. Boom. Cool. X-Men 97. Let's watch this breakdown from Paul together. X-Men 97, episode 5.
Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host, Paul. In this video, we're breaking down X-Men 97. Episode 5's now out, and we're going to be breaking down the Easter eggs, hidden details, and references to Marvel throughout.
Ooh.
R-U-N. Hey, I said R-U-N, because it's about Genosha joining the UN.
Fuck off.
And that was actually teased and set up last week when Roberto talked about it to Jubilee.
True.
The story is something that pulls directly from the comics and watches Magneto's Genosha was welcomed by the UN. Now, from here on out, it's heavy spoilers, so if you don't want to
Heavy spoilers. We got spoilers going on, so get out of here.
Then I recommend you turn off now. Please hit the thumbs up if you've been enjoying the breakdowns, and make sure you subscribe for videos like this every week. But out of the way, huge thank you for clicking this. Now let's get into X-Men 97.
Versing a nation.
By the way, I saw Paul talking about this on Twitter. There's bootlegged heavy spoilers merch, so you guys can finally go get some heavy spoilers merch. I'm sure it's way more affordable, so go make sure you do that.
Overnight is not without its share of stumbles.
Now, as always, we have the iconic X-Men intro that made the skip intro button as useless.
Yo, real talk, chat. We pulled it up and watched the whole intro. I was like, yeah, let's go. And I said the same thing. I was like, why do they even have the skip intro button? Then all of a sudden it started playing the first episode. And I was like, oh no, it's on the first episode. That means we get to listen to the intro twice. And we literally went to the most recent episode, played it again, and let the intro play again. Yeah.
This is the dislike on this one, because no one ever hits it because the breakdown's so good. The soundtrack's sick as ever, and we're so fucking back. But as always, we get some additional shots. Now, last week, we missed another bloody thing in the intro that you guys noticed. I hate you, mate. I hate you for being smarter than me. But some of you picked up that Jean in the intro had her original look, where her hair was tied back into a ponytail, whereas before that, we had Jean with her hair down.
That's cool.
This obviously signified that that was, in fact, Madeline, and it's something where I originally had no idea why they did it in our episode 1 and 2 breakdown. Either way, this has strange repercussions, as it could mean the switch happened during season 5 when the ponytail stopped being there. Now, I feel like it was during the honeymoon episode where Sinister kidnapped them, but let me know your exact thoughts below.
Yeah, it's probably that, huh? I mean, I don't think they're going to get too... And part of it is, like, you don't even need to really answer that question because the ambiguity created by it is, like, juicy.
The new shots in the intro include Cable versus Apocalypse, which comes from the original series.
Oh, I want to see...
Along with that is a scene from Slave Island that has a certain character that we'll talk about later on. Opening on Trish Tilby, this is Patricia Tilby from the original show. Introduced in X Factor Volume 1, this character provides reports in the Marvel Universe, with them mostly being centered around mutants. That's what's going on here, with her providing some insight for the public on what's going on. This includes an in-depth look at the X-Mansion, including a tour and also some notable faces. That includes Beast, who she makes blush. This is a little nod to the comics, as in those, the pair had a relationship together.
Oh,
you also get other interviews, including ones with Jubilee. There's a shot of the gang in the original costumes, with Beast in his regular form, and also Iceman there wearing his yellow boots. That, of course, popped up in the first episode as well, and the picture being back up's a reminder of how well things seem to be going.
True.
Well, for some people anyway, and we catch Cyclops sleeping on the couch. He takes off what I believe is a sleep mask, because, yeah, the guy couldn't really go to bed.
That's true. He does need that sleep mask. I never really thought of that. Can you imagine, like, waking up from a nightmare and then just, like, blasting half your house away or some shit? That would be tough. Also, I wonder if mutants can even get insured now that I think about that. That seems Seems kind of tough.
Without one. It's not something I've even thought about before, but I love this little detail. We then get a shot of Jubilee and Roberto from episode 2, but I swear there wasn't any cameras there, mate, because they might have caught some weird shit. Now, while they're getting closer, Jean and Scott are clearly getting further apart because he's obviously built a life with her clone Madeline. That's been torn away from him, including his son, and now these two are just left on their own. However, good things are on the horizon, with the island of Genosha now joining the UN. The UN is a massive part of the X-Men, with it making several key appearances in several key stories. The UN were who appeared at the end of the first film, and Magneto wanted to turn them into mutants. Better than trying to turn everyone in New York into lizards, I guess, but the comics are full of appearances too. The finale of the original cartoon had Gyrick injuring Professor X there, and episode 2 this season took place there as well. Genosha's got a massive legacy in the comics, with it first appearing in Uncanny X-Men 235.
True.
Located off the coast of Madagascar, it was supposed to be a sanctuary for the mutants. Advertised as a paradise, it seemed like a haven where they could escape discrimination. However, there was a darker side to it, which we saw during the events of Slave Island. Turned out Genosha had been built off the back of enslaving its population, and those identified with the mutant gene were shipped off to it. This was, of course, based off concentration camps, with Hitler and Goebbels even putting out propaganda that showed them being like holiday camps. In the show, power dampening collars were placed on the mutants, and they were forced to engage in hard labor. Last week, we saw a simulation of this, with that moment pulling from Slave Island. Slave Island also appeared in episode 2, with us getting a flashback to it when Magneto was at the UN. In the comics, the mutants were put through a process by David Moreau, which is a nod to the island of Dr. Moreau. Known as the Gen-Engineer, he tried to modify humans and turn them into mutants, and he was also able to modify mutant powers. Those that tried to escape were tracked down and forced back, and some of the X-Men were kidnapped and taken there. X-Factor played into a massive storyline there too, and we saw them up in Forge's room in a photo. Working together, they managed to take him down, and the idea of a better Genosha was then created from that point. Now that's the one most people tend to think of when you mention the country, with its darker past kind of being looked over in most of the adaptations. For example, Genosha and Dark Phoenix just had it being a nation with Magneto as the leader. That's pretty much how it's known now, with it actually becoming the haven that it's advertised as.
That's a Frank Quietly art right there, right?
Now during X-Men Volume 2 issue 87, the UN ceded the island to Magneto. Since then, there's been civil wars with the magistrates and a disease being unleashed on it known as the Legacy Virus. Cassandra Nova also ended up attacking the island, with her making her live-action debut in the upcoming Deadpool film. It's also where Wanda was given sanctuary during House of...
And I believe it's 16... Somebody correct me on this, but I believe it's 16 million mutants die? Am I pulling that out of my butt? Or is that actually what it was? I just kind of remember that number for some reason.
And I'm expecting to see it being something that becomes a big locale in the MCU. It's basically up there with Wakanda and being fictional places of importance in the Marvel Universe, and I'm so glad the UN are letting them join. I love the idea that supervillains can still join, and did you know that you can join our channel as a member? You didn't, mate? What? Well, good news. For 99 cents and 99 pence a month, you'll get early access to our videos and get to see any breakdowns that we have ready early before anybody else.
I think it's worth it just to get those
right below the video.
badges.
So deck yourself out on our Theory Time shirts. It's all connected, and a boys-inspired one for the upcoming show. We've moved over to a high-end retailer that does top-quality clothing. It accentuates your pecs and stuff, hangs loose around the waist, and yeah, no matter what you pick up,
accentuates your pecs
you don't
and
already,
stuff.
But you can look better, mate. There's always room for improvement, as my comment section says. Chapow! Nice. I'm sorry for offending you there. I'm sure you look great, mate. I don't want to put you down. I know it's a Wednesday and it's everyone's in hump day, but you take care of yourself, mate. I love you. If you're feeling down, then find some common ground in Gambit, who's a bit of a third wheel.
Yeah.
Magneto makes a comment about how if the Blackbird blows up, he's completely effed, and he's, of course, destroyed it a number of times himself. Gambit can't fly, and I doubt Magneto's going to help him, because man's just being Captain Cockblock at the moment.
True.
And at this point, we then travel out to Genosha and see two gigantic statues of Magneto and Charles.
Yeah, I like
These show the forefathers of the mutants, and it's similar to say...
you know, it's funny, he mentioned Wakanda earlier, but like even the music on Genosha kind of reminded me of that, and it just had this idea of like paradise. Like they really sell you on that idea of paradise, and it's also, you know, partially just because of how the characters, you know, experience it and witness it. But yeah,
Mount Rushmore, in which it's showcasing some of the most important figures in the country's history. Beyond that though, the fact they're on either side shows that the pair also possess slightly opposed views. However, they'd come together to build this haven, showing that people have to learn to work together in order to achieve.
You know what Paul's showing us there? He's showing us that he has a better grasp of American politics than Alex Garland. Not to get too crazy on the whole Civil War thing, but a lot of people are like, does this guy know like anything about America? Anyway.
See this amongst the people holding up signs.
Magneto is right.
Saying Magneto is right, while others welcome the X-Men.
Kid Omega.
I know Magneto has switched sides sort of and is embracing Charles's mentality more, but there's definitely still those that fear the humans. Now in the comics, we had a similar thing to the statue, and there was a gigantic Magneto monument.
Yeah.
This was located in the capital city of Hammer Bay, and we see the other locales like Magda Square and Havershore Heights. Now, we'll talk about some of the mutants that they see on the streets later on, looking at you, Lin Lee, but on the ground they meet Madeline and Val Cooper. However, the big person we have to talk about here is a mutant that thinks in a lot of people's top 5. That is a Nightcrawler who really gained popularity due to X2. However, he's always been a brilliant character, and his teleportation powers always look amazing on screen.
Yeah, for sure.
Nightcrawler has a strong connection to Rogue and Gambit, as the pair saved him during the original series. In the episode Nightcrawler, he'd made a home in a church, but the locals feared him because they believed he was a demon.
Yeah.
That leaned in heavily with his faith, and Nightcrawler's religion's one of his key characteristics.
Yeah, for sure. And a lot of the deep diving that we did on X-Men last month, a lot of time was spent on that character in particular and his relationship with Logan and his relationship with his faith and how that's they play with that in an interesting way in God Loves, Man Kills. And he's a very important part of the show. It was great to see him back. I popped for him. Did you guys pop for Nightcrawler when you saw him in this episode?
I'm not sure what they're doing in the comics right now. Last I heard, Mystique was his dad. So I don't know how they've changed things up, but at least for that original...
God damn it, why'd you even bring that up, Paul?
Series, that's kind of what they did with it. Rogue and Gambit ended up saving him from the townsfolk, and you can see why he'd be happy to see them here. The original series took a step away from his swashbuckling side, right as we know they're embracing it for this.
Yeah.
They give clear nods to that episode and bring up the church and how he had to flee. From here we then go down to the streets where Nightcrawler takes a pair for a tour. Along the way, there's also lots of different mutants, including your boy Leech. He was rescued by Magneto earlier in the series, and we learned that he'd taken him to this paradise. Next to him's also Pixie, who's a Welsh mutant with wings. Alongside from her is one of my favourite mutants, Glob. Completely transparent. I've always thought his design's amazing, and every time he shows up in the comics, he's the first thing I look at. Made of a wax-like substance, this allows light to travel through him, and it means you can see his eyeballs and skeleton.
Oh my, it's just like he said it'd be.
Who, Rogue? Who have you been talking to about this, love? Now, though apples cost $10 back in 1997, geez, that's a bit high, mate.
Yeah.
They're justified by saying that it's giving them a home. It's going to take a while to build and secure, and $10 apples in 1997 is unfortunately the cost. Gambit is still suspicious though, but hey, maybe you should keep an eye on your bird instead of the birds on
Why does Gambit care? He's just steal that shit, man. He's a thief, you know what I mean?
the island, eh?
Or maybe Gambit's willing to ask questions no one else will.
Ooh.
Now at this point, we then get into the streets and see a mutant that we saw for just last week. That is Multiple Man, who unleashes his powers. The next two mutants I'm a bit unsure of, and let me know below if you recognize the pair.
Chat, get over to this video, and if he's wrong about this, I need all caps, flame him for not knowing.
I did think one could be Azazel, but I don't think his powers really work like that, and I doubt he'd be dancing as well. Now we then get to Dazzler, who's a big character from the comics, and she first appeared in the episode Dazzled. This mutant singer has powerful light projection powers, and she can also turn sound into shockwaves. In the show, Dazzler faced off against the Hellfire Club, with the X-Men having to save her. She also showed up during Dark Phoenix and sung at the forest party scene, which was great. And there are rumors that
I don't remember that shit, but to be honest with you, I don't even know if I watched Dark Phoenix the full way through.
she's going to be in Deadpool 3. Some sources say she's going to be played by Taylor Swift, with Ryan Reynolds and Taylor, of course, having a well-known friendship, I think. Well, that's the case or not, mate. We don't know, but it was nice seeing her popping up in the episode.
Yeah, it was cool.
And while this is going on, Gambit stands to the side with Nightcrawler, who tells him to marry Rogue. Though he turns it into a joke, it's clear that he's not really that confident that he's able to provide for her. Rogue wants a physical connection, and Magneto's the only one who can provide that. This is because their powers are both based around manipulating the magnetic force of something, which is how she can fly and lift things up. She can't really manipulate it to the level that he can. I don't think describing it as magnetic powers is the right word to use, but she's able to change the intrinsic value of something. This is why the pair can touch, and it's not something that Gambit can do. Now, this distance is shared in Scott, who we catch.
Yeah, just to touch on that a little bit more, I thought it was incredibly emotional. And she goes to Remy, and it's interesting because they've always like had their thing, and he kind of comments on it too, like it was always low key. They'd never put a label on it or whatever, but they definitely had a thing. And she respected him so much that she wanted to go talk to him about it. And I mean, the imagery is just beautiful with him throwing the cards into the fire, and then he holds up the Queen of Hearts thing. He's talking about how Magneto will break her heart. It's really emotional. She's opening up about the past that they had. So yeah, I mean that stuff was really emotional, dude. Like I really felt for all of them, for all of the characters. And then this next part here with Scott. Whew! Like this is where, to me, this is maybe some of my favorite stuff.
Skirting around his relationship. Jean is called Marvel Girl, which was her original name, and Madeline pulled this costume out during episode 2. Jean's taken herself off the water, and it's in this that she turned into the Phoenix during X2. Unsure of what her memories are, she recounts the details of the Phoenix saga, which we've seen dotted throughout the intro of the show.
Yeah.
Scott tried to tell her that nothing had changed, but Jean now possessed a cosmic power unlike any other. Taking off his glasses, she was able to hold it back, which is
Adam.
something that
Maybe I'll
happened
check
in
that
the
out.
original series. They also adapted it for The Last Stand, just before they killed off Scott. Jean ends up kissing Logan, which it's actually pretty big, mate. If only there was some way that we could work this all out. Not you, Morph. I actually think that things may go that way, and Scott might end up...
I don't know about you guys, but Wolverine kind of, to me, he just doesn't disappoint. And in that particular scene, when she kisses him and he reacts with like a good heart, not because he really cares about Cyclops, but because he really cares about Jean and he understands what she's going through. It's like an emotional maturity that you just don't see a lot. And you see it from Logan a lot in comics, but it's like he has this, he's this grumpy monster type dude with all this anger, aggression, and harshness, and yet in some ways he's like the most human. And I thought that shit hit perfectly. Like what he said to her and everything, I was like, damn, like W Wolverine.
With Madeline, those two are in love and they have a son, and it also means that Logan can have his happy ending. This is why I don't get why Cyclops is so frustrated, because the answer's right there, mate. It's right there. Now, Tilby brings up how there are records that he has a son, which comes from the hospital. They discuss how the doctor wouldn't deliver their kid, which is a moment that happened at the end of episode 2. Turns into a PR disaster where Scott rants about humanity, and it might actually be the start of his villain arc. If you read Avengers vs. X-Men, then you'll be aware he sides with the mutants and that after being possessed by the Phoenix Force. Even when it's taken from him, he's still a criminal, and I'd love to see them do that in the show. Now, back on Genosha,
Yeah. Just to touch on that a little bit more, it was beautiful to see that start, right? The turn. Because Scott becomes like Magneto, and he becomes like Magneto so much that you even have goddamn dogs are going crazy out there. You even have Magneto trying to stop Scott at one point in Avengers vs. X-Men, like trying to talk him down a little bit. And it's interesting because he's raised by Charles, right? He's Charles' first pupil. He's like essentially Charles' son. And he, for a long time, just admires Charles so much and the vision for the X-Men, the vision for mutants in a world with humans, that is his identity. And through this trauma and through a lot of stuff that happens at this exact time, that shifts. And he goes all the way to the other side. All the way. Like, you know how a lot of people are in this episode are wearing like Magneto was right, Magneto was right. It becomes Cyclops was right after AVX. That's what happens. And it's fascinating that happens to that character. And it's really cool that we see the seeds of that in that scene. Pretty interesting.
Cut to a meeting of the mutants and see Sebastian Shaw. A member of the Hellfire Club, he's also joined by...
And Emma Frost, dude. I mean, again, like, you know, we've been talking about it. Like, Marvel needs to take note. Like, I'm talking about the MCU because they're nailing it in this cartoon. And wow, dude, Emma Frost, perfect. And you don't get a ton with her, but it just feels right. And I want that Emma Frost, man. When we do live action, we need this Emma Frost.
Emma Frost, who too is, of course, a higher-ranking part of their team. The pair were a big part of First Class, with Banshee also appearing in that too. Here he's rocking his original Scottish accent, and beside him is Moira McTaggart. She too appeared in live action during First Class and is an ally to the mutants. This is why she's invited here, as she's not seen as being as prejudiced as the rest of humanity is. She's had a relationship with Charles as well, and knows him on a personal level. Charles' absence is felt massively here, and Magneto recounts their first meeting in Germany. Depending on what version you pick up, Magneto was hunting the SS, and Charles was trying to steer him away from revenge. They're also joined by Callisto, providing a voice for the Morlocks. This council is really lots of different segments of society, so that all can debate and provide an opinion on mutant affairs. Back at the X-Mansion, we see...
By the way, I believed that scene with Magneto. There's, like, part of it where it's like, oh, is he setting all of this up? I don't think so. I feel like he's just being guided to this, and I think the UN thing becomes the catalyst for him, you know, being picked to be in charge. And I think the only reason he does it is because of Charles. So I don't even know if, like, I don't think he really wanted it, you know, at least in the show.
Asking Cyclops to talk about Nathan and see his eyes behind the glass. This humanizes him and makes him more relatable, as normally they're not something that we're able to see. Eyes are, of course, the windows to the soul, and I think it's always provided a detachment from the character. Looking off to a photo of just after Nathan was born, we see him rocking his costume because he'd just come from fighting at the UN. However, Madeline gets kicked out of the lobby by Jean, and if only there was some way to handle this. Jean flies off the handle because...
I mean, this shit was wild, bro. Like, I definitely felt this. Where I was like... Dude, you gotta feel for Scott, but also you feel for all of them. Like, that's what makes it so good. Is like, you think about from Madeline Pryor's perspective. This is a dude she absolutely loves, has all these memories with, and she had his child. They went through the delivery together, and as somebody that has gone through that experience with my wife, it is a bonding thing. You will never forget those moments. You'll never forget that experience. It was real. So you feel it. From Madeline's perspective, you feel it from Jean's perspective, feeling like she's lost. She doesn't know who she is. Her own husband is with somebody else, had memories with somebody else, had a child with somebody else. And when you're trying to put yourself together, like, that is a horrible, like, I can't even imagine what that's like. And then Scott, like, I kind of, like, I don't know, man. I kind of low-key feel like Scott is dealing with the most right now because he's dealing with the loss and death of a mentor father figure. Then, from beyond the grave, it feels like the father figure picks somebody else than him to see to his affairs. He has his wife back, has a child, then realizes that's not actually his wife. His real wife's back. Oh, and by the way, your son is dying, and you now have to let him go to the future and abandon him forever. Holy shit. This dude's dealing with a lot. And I mean, I don't know, like, again, I get where Jean's at, but you can't let this dude just have a little bit of time with Madeline to talk about their son and shit. Like, oh my God, bro, what a mind fuck. And it's cool because it's literally a mind fuck if you think about it.
Because they had a psychic kiss, but didn't you have a real one out at the lake, eh?
Oh, good point, Paul.
Kind of have these two torn relationships, which is then reflected in Rogue and Gambit. Magneto has pretty much proposed to her, but her heart is clearly with Gambit in the end. However, there's this evil side that always has tried to pull her away because she's an extremely powerful mutant. The original series dealt with her origin story, which we also see playing out here. Forced by another powerful figure, this was her mother who made her go down a certain route. We see her absorbing powers from Avalanche, and then a scene playing off her and Magneto's time in the Savage Land.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a retcon from the comics, but it still worked for me. I was like, okay.
Address, and it's through this that the pair first fell in love. Rogue is an empath, and she absorbed...
Bro, how many of those versions of Rogue you think we're going to see at Halloween this year? And it better be a lot. Savage Land Rogue, greater than Harley Quinn. I said it!
Memories as well, which made it too difficult for her to have a relationship with him. The episode is titled Remember It, and this signifies a lot of characters throughout. Not only does it showcase Scott being torn back to his memories, but Jean is also struggling with hers.
My love for you is the one thing I remember amid this pain and
Dude.
insanity.
Rogue
That's
finds
real.
it difficult.
I mean, that's fucking real. Again, I'm going to be Savage Land Rogue. Some people wait a lifetime for a moment like this. And also, like, dude, I get it. Like, that's what makes it so good is you understand where everybody's coming from. Ah, love it.
remembering her past with Magneto, and he too struggles with his past as well. There's also just the phrase remember it, which pays off with Gambit later, but we will talk about that further on in the video. Either way, it's a major direction to take all these characters, and such smart writing from our #1 OnlyFans creator. Dear me. Anyway, what happens from here is something to remember, which we see in the night sky. You can make out Uatu amongst the stars.
Yeah, dude. And we caught this a little bit when we watched the first time. Like, Elisa was like, was that a big face in the sky? And I was thinking it might be like the Sentinels or like the new Master Mold. But I was like, yeah, I mean, I guess I saw it. But dude, how many of you guys caught that and knew it was Uatu right away? Throw one into the chat because, bro, you know shit's about to go down when Uatu pulls up. Oh, man. Yeah, dude. Look, some of you caught it. That's cool. Yeah, that's a nice little bit of foreshadowing there, bro. Let's go.
Showing how important this is about to be. He'd typically only appear at major events because the Watchers required someone to witness them. That's what's going on here, and we cut to a mutant party. Val's there, and she's clearly having difficulty with Shaw being in a leadership position. He is, of course, a villain in the majority of stories that he features in,
True.
and thus you can see why the UN would start to worry. Dancing to some 90s-inspired pop, Rogue is basically rubbing it in Gambit's face, and a bit rough, mate. Only friends owned him 20 minutes ago. That would be
Yeah.
my fill-in origin story right there, but she does break it off, to be fair.
That's
She
true.
realizes it's just physical with Magneto, and the connection she has with Gambit, it goes much deeper. Now at this point, Madeline's zapped right in the forehead, which is where her sinister gem's held. If you turn on the closed captions, you'll see Cable's voice appears in this moment, with Nathan, of course, growing up to be him. This foreshadows his arrival in...
And I love this. It's just like a little moment here, but like I could still feel like the desperation, and it really helps to add that chaotic feeling in the air when you're like, wait, what the fuck is going on? Cable's here? He's telling everybody to leave? Oh, fuck. Like, oh, shit.
just a bit, and in the crowd we can also catch Marrow, who appeared on a missing poster during episode 1. I found her, but it's too late to collect the reward because it's about to go down. His return here has shown how dire a position they're in, with him having to go back to try and stop this terrible thing about to happen. Failing his mission, I feel like down the line we're going to see things from his point of view as he attempts to stop what's about to happen. There's lots of big deaths with everyone getting rocked, but yeah, I feel like it's going to end up being reversed purely down to time travel. When the Watcher's here though, you know shit's about to hit the fan, and...
I gotta say, I don't think it's gonna be reversed. Because, like, this happens in the comics. Like, if they're doing the Cassandra Nova stuff, I'm pretty sure she kills 16 million mutants on Genosha. Pretty sure. But we don't know what they're doing exactly. Like, they could change that. But yeah, and then this spins everything into like a new crazy direction. So I don't think it's going to be reversed, but it could.
Massive explosion ends up rocking the Capitol. Amongst the attack is also a wild sentinel, which
Yeah, probably not reversed, but maybe some get saved. Like, I could see that, where maybe you have like a Cable or a Bishop thing happen and he gets some of them out. Yeah, 16 million people, yeah. That's crazy.
Over Unleashed in the comics. That happened in the Grant Morrison New X-Men run, and it seems like they're basing things off that. I don't think she's behind this attack though, and instead I believe it might be attached to Sinister. There's that green magic throughout, and Madeline having a meltdown possibly helps to confirm this. The only reason that Sinister cloned Jean was so she could have a baby with Scott, and then he'd use...
But here's the thing, like, totally could be that. I guess for me, I'd still have to know, why would Essex do that? Because it's not like Sinister wants to wipe out mutants. I think he sees mutants as very useful. And if anything, he would want to just collect all of their DNA and like clone them all and stuff. So like, I don't know. Like, you definitely could go that direction with Sinister? I don't think so, though.
Use this baby as a weapon. So I think that's why Cable's here too, as he may be attached to the story. It's important to note that in the closed captions he says he's coming and not she, and thus I don't think it's Nova. Something's clearly gone down since we last left him with Bishop, and it must be big for him to travel back in time. Honestly, I was just blown away by this ending, and seeing the mutants get wiped out was completely insane. Then poor Morlocks, mate, just seeing how hopeless they felt, it made it even more impactful when Gambit burst in. However, the triumph doesn't last too long, with Magneto dying to save Leech, which calls back to that second episode.
Yeah,
Gambit
so
goes
crazy.
down while
that
spouting.
scene was wild, bro, where he said, I think he said in German, don't be afraid to Leech. Damn, dude. And then, I don't know, Paul didn't talk about this yet. Maybe he will in a second, but the fucking flashbacks to the Holocaust. Magneto's just like looking around and having PTSD flashbacks to Auschwitz. Like, bro, that's some heavy shit. You know what I mean? Like, whew.
Off gambling puns, and it's what he would have wanted. Supercharging the Sentinel, he ends up destroying it and drops the episode title as a big FU.
Remember it.
Just a completely devastating way to close out the episode.
And that was just so cool. Like the Sentinel, he's like doing this awesome heroic charge thing. He like flips up there and is like ready to go at it. And then the Sentinel like stabs him with like some kind of like insect type limb. And then he charges it up like using his kinetic powers and then blasts that thing into oblivion. Like, whoo!
You see his Genosha lies in ruins while the X-Men watch back at the mansion.
Yeah, dude, this shit was
does the death
devastating.
of Superman, and unable to feel Gambit's emotions, we then fade out. In death, she finally touches him, and what a devastating way to close out the episode.
That is
Even
true.
Gets
Yeah,
sad
that's a
piano
great
music
point.
over the end.
Yeah. Oh, dude. That shit was so, I mean, it was like top to bottom perfect. Like the way that you get into this music at the end while you're just in shock still and just processing it still. Whoo!
Now, though, you might be thinking that next week we're going to learn what happens. I've got some bad news for you. We know that next week we'll be picking up the plot threads left in the Storm story, and that it's going to be Life Death Part 2.
You suck.
Heavy spoilers for the comics, so if you don't want to know, then I recommend that you check yourself before you wreck yourself. I think we spoiled it last week, anyway. Dear me, mate.
Yeah, you probably
the
did.
channel name's there, though, to be fair. It's right there.
It
Shame
is
on
right
you.
in the channel name, but I'm still pissed, Paul. And you all need to go flame him for putting these spoilers in there.
Now, the book had Forge trying to help Storm realize that she was a goddess without her powers.
You are a goddess.
However, in both the book and show, she eventually found out that Forge was behind the weapon, and he created the gun which took away her abilities. Now in the work, they handle things differently, with Forge living in a skyscraper penthouse overlooking the city.
Oh.
Surrounded by expensive objects and art, he seemed to be living the high life. However, Storm berated him from being not only a traitor to his kind, but someone who was unable to live amongst them. In his
Oh.
tower, he looked down on those below and was completely detached. Surrounding himself in meaningless objects, she said he deserved to be alone amongst them, ostracized from the other mutants. Now they're taking a different route in the show, with them having Forge's giant roots taking a stronger focus. There's also the villain Adversary as well, who works slightly different here to how he did originally. Adversary is an ancient demonic entity who wanted to reset the universe and wipe out all life within it.
Oh.
Referred to as a great trickster, it's similar to Loki in its means and methods. The Shine had trained their shaman to be able to combat them, with Forge being one who'd been trained since his birth. Forge wanted to forge out a different path though, and instead he left that life behind and enlisted in the army. Now Storm went to Forge in the entity posed as Naze, which is when it convinced her that Adversary was controlling Forge. It said it had enlisted him to destroy the world, and that he was working on a portal that would bring forth interdimensional demons. Thus the pair went looking for him, and we discovered Forge was hiding
Sounds
up in
bad.
a mountain. Naze ended up sending Storm up there because Forge had laced mystical alarms on the cliffside. After stabbing Forge, he learned the truth, and that he was actually trying to close the portal. Both fell through it to a parallel universe, and it'll be interesting to see if that follows next week. Either way, that's the breakdown, and huge thank you for checking it out.
Yeah, that'd
Make
be
sure you
crazy.
also
I
go see-
suppose we'll have to wait a little bit before we get more answers about what happened at Genosha and who's involved. But yeah, good breakdown. A lot of awesome stuff in this episode. I really enjoyed this episode, and I enjoyed that breakdown. Good stuff. What do you think? What do you think, chat? It's gonna be weird to see that stuff with Forge and Storm, though. 100%. That's some pretty weird stuff. So we'll see how they handle it. We shall see how they handle it. Would love to see you chat with heavy spoilers again. Oh yeah, I talk to Paul almost every day. I like that guy. But we're both just kind of like doing our things, you know, in the content space. Would have been 10 out of 10 if they didn't kill off Gambit. Yeah. Kind of sucks, but you got to feel it. How many seasons will this show have? At least 2. Bo wrote the second season, so we'll get at least one more fire season. Got a response from Bo? What you mean? What you mean? What response? What are you talking about? I don't see it. I don't see it on the tweeters. I think they greenlit a third. No, I think the last thing I remember was there was a conversation or some kind of report about how they were strongly considering greenlighting season 3. So, I mean, like, I don't know why they wouldn't at this point. Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't. I would also say, like, the fact that they're doing this well with the show makes me really want the 90s Spider-Man cartoon. But the way that show leaves off, it would have to be, like, really different. Because he can't just, like, be back in New York, right? So, that would be kind of wild. You know what they could do is have that Peter land on a planet with that one, what was the show with the Spider-Man? I think it was Spider-Man Unlimited. And he goes to this futuristic different planet. And there were like the animal people, the high evolutionary, and he had the sick-ass costume. I've never seen that. There's no official licensed toys for that costume. You know what I'm talking about? I think it was Spider-Man Unlimited. Spider-Man Unlimited? Oh, come on, man. Where's the Spider-Man Unlimited toys? Let's not do Spider-Man Unlimited. You don't do Spider-Man Unlimited. You do Spider-Man Unlimited meets 90s Spider-Man, and then together they traverse the multiverse to try to find fucking MJ. See? That's how you do it. That's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. I say do Spider-Man 2099. You could probably do that too. Why not do both Spider-Man 2099 and 90 Spider-Man teaming up to save Mary Jane? Yeah, no, but you have to add Spider-Man Unlimited into it. Like, you guys aren't... look, I understand what you're saying. You're not listening, though. Because I like Spider-Man Unlimited. Spider-Man Unlimited has to be involved. Okay? That's what it is. It needs to happen. Wait, I missed it. You like Spider-Man Unlimited? Yeah, see that? Now it makes sense. You guys didn't hear the whole thing. I like Spider-Man Unlimited. So now that you know that, can we talk about it now? Because technically Spider-Man Unlimited did borrow Spider-Man 2099 costume. Is that why they never made any toys for it? What about Spider-Man Unlimited? Do you like? Genuine question. Dude, the costume's awesome. The costume's awesome. I also like the version of Venom that's in Spider-Man Unlimited. A lot of the cyberpunk kind of dystopian futuristic stuff. I liked that. I like that kind of stuff, man. Yeah. Is Unlimited 2099 just with Peter? 2099 is a different character. That's Miguel O'Hara, who's actually a vampire and not a spider person. Yeah. Yeah. Likes female Green Goblin? You don't say that. You don't say that. Leave that in Canada. The show was hyper stylized. It really was. He's not a vampire? Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Miguel O'Hara isn't a vampire? Yes, he is. In comics, Miguel O'Hara was an engineer at Alchemax after becoming disgusted by its inhuman experience in regards to genetic imprinting on humans. He attempts to quit, but was slipped an addictive drug owned by a corrupt company, forcing him to stay. In a desperate attempt to expunge the drug from his system, Miguel O'Hara used the same experimental genetic imprinting on himself, literally turning 50% of his DNA into a spider. Not only did it give him proportional strength of one, but it also granted him superhuman agility, strength, reflexes, and stamina, similar to that of that. Additionally, the most prominently, it gave him now iconic talons and fangs, eventually becoming Spider-Man 2099. He doesn't have a thirst for blood. Aww. Like I said, he's not technically a Spider-Man, but you guys know what I meant. You know what I meant. You know what I was saying? Come on. You know what I'm talking about. I told you he wasn't a vampire. No, you said he was. You said he was a vampire. And I said technically not. And then I explained it to you. Okay. Woo! Condiment Man 2099. Shush. A little late. This past weekend held the best WrestleMania in years. Cinema? Yeah, for sure. The Inheritors are like vampires. Yeah, that's what I said. Duh. Duh. X-Men 97 is honestly one of the best TV shows I've seen in a while. Same. So Pedro going to be the maker? Oh, I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that. That'd be kind of fun, though. That would just add to the weirdness of the show. Like, or the movie. Like, the Fantastic Four movie is going to be weird, dude. Like, that's just going to be weird. So, yeah. This week's Shogun was a banger. It really was, man. I love Shogun. I mean, this was, you know, I don't want to go into spoilers for that, but this week of Shogun was one of the first times in the show I really disliked what one of the main characters did. And, like, I was like, I really don't like that. But it makes sense in the context of the show, and I think that's good. Like, that's something Game of Thrones did a lot, where you were like, ah, man, like, I don't know, man. I liked this character, but they just did that. Ugh, feels nasty. Same thing with Shogun, dude. So it's good. It's like, I'm really, I'm mad, but also, like, that's good, because you made me feel something. Okay, should we talk about the Joker? Should we talk about the Joker? Let's talk about the Joker. Let's talk about the Joker. The Joker 2 movie we're talking about. LOL. I don't know. I mean, look. So let's start with this one. Are you guys excited about the Joker 2? Let me know in chat. Let's start there. Like, are you excited about this? Like, is anybody really excited about this? Just let me know in the chat. I guess as a follow-up, did the trailer make you more excited about the movie? Yeah, let's go to the polls on that. That's actually a good idea. Let me poll it up. Let me poll it. Did the trailer make you more excited for Joker 2? Let's see what you guys say. I gotta be honest, guys. This trailer did pretty much nothing for me, okay? And it's shot really well. It's edited really well. Like, his director of photography and him, like, damn, bro. Like, there's some really great shots in here. And ultimately, like, they're doing their thing, right? Like, they're getting paid the big money. They're doing the thing. I get it. Here's the thing, though. I can't help but feel like this movie is somewhat of a self-indulgent sequel. And I can't help but feel like this is a project designed to get Todd Phillips, Joaquin Phoenix, Lady Gaga, and others a big payday. And on the one hand, I totally get it. Because the first movie was a massive success. It made more money. Like, it's a huge hit. It's a big, big movie. Over $1 billion on a movie that's budget was, I believe, around 50 or 60. Right? So I doubt they were compensated for that level of success with the first movie. Right? So he just gets a paycheck. They all get a paycheck. Maybe they had points. Maybe not. I don't think they were properly compensated, right? So this movie to me, because did you guys know this movie has a budget of $200 million? Did you know that? This is a $200 million superhero movie. You might not think that by looking at it, but that's what it is. And I think, I don't have the exact numbers. Somebody look this up and check me on this. Joaquin's getting like 15 million, maybe 20. I think Todd himself's getting like 15, 20. I think Gaga's getting 15, 20. So that's what I mean, is like, this is a movie that is, in some ways, in my opinion, them just taking advantage of the studio system. Because studio sees $1 billion movie and says, well, we need another one of those. You know what I mean? Like, they're not thinking too much up there in those Hollywood boardrooms. I got to be honest. They're not. So they're like, $1 billion movie wins the next one. Okay? And Joker is a movie. I have kind of mixed feelings on it. When I first saw it, I didn't really enjoy it. I watched it again during the lockdowns in 2020. I got to tell you, it hits different. Like, watching that movie in the pandemic was an experience. It was different. You know, the whole movie's like, it's talking about like people getting sick at the beginning, and it's like, it's getting really crazy out there. And you're just like, yeah, it is getting really crazy out there, you know? But one of the things that's kind of good about the Joker is the way the movie ends, you're not really sure what's real or not. And so therefore you can think about the movie a lot and explore it. And I think the movie works because it's just a little Elseworld thing that is true to like the spirit of Joker. It's not true to Joker as a character at all. And the whole thing with like young Bruce and everything like that as like kind of a little bit of a hardcore comic book fan. I have a lot of trouble with that because Joker and Batman have a very specific relationship, which is absent in this movie. But it is true to the spirit of Joker and to the spirit of what Alan Moore did in The Killing Joke. And the whole idea of The Killing Joke is like, dude, everybody's one bad day away from becoming the Joker. Everybody is capable of becoming the Joker, right? So, to me, the first movie, it works because it's like this isolated thing. And for whatever reason, I can't separate my feelings that this sequel does not need to exist. And I think that's sort of the core problem that I have with it. I gave the trailer a shot. I gave the trailer a chance. And again, it is a beautiful trailer. It is a beautiful trailer, well shot, but it is also a musical. And it is also gratuitous in its inclusion of Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. Like, they're just like, there she is. And it's like weird. It's like it's not Harley Quinn from the comics at all. At all. And it feels more like an imaginary perfect girlfriend for Arthur. Right? And so even though it's oozing with style and the cinematography's brilliant, it's the shots are beautiful, the editing's great, even the music sounds good, sound design perfect. They're doing their thing. Like, it's not like they phoned it in, right? That's not what I'm saying. But just for me as a comic book fan, I feel very detached from this movie. The trailer did not really make me feel like it was something I really needed to see. It didn't get me excited. I'm pretty much at like a lukewarm, maybe I'll watch it on streaming, or if people are saying it's absolutely incredible, maybe I would then go to the theater and check it out. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's really not doing it for me. And currently, right now, on our poll right here, we've got 63% of people saying that the trailer did not make them more excited for Joker 2. But, you know, the other thing that's weird is like, bro, I don't even care. It's not like I'm so attached to what they're doing with DC or what they're not doing with DC that I'm going to be like offended by the movie, right? It's like, fine. Like, dude, Bob's your uncle. Like, good on you, Todd. Like, get that money, man. That's dope. And hey, maybe it'll be dope and I'll check it out and I'll be like, oh, that was surprisingly enjoyable. I'm not offended by it. I don't really care. Do your thing. I hope it finds its audience. Like, God bless everybody that's involved. But like, as somebody that is, you know, a content creator in the space of nerd, just got to be real. Like, if this is supposed to get me excited, it's not succeeding on that level. Like, just honestly, it's not. I guess maybe if I was just like super hardcore DC, I've seen some DC fans being like, yo, this is it. It feels a little forced to me, but at the same time, what do you have as a DC fan currently? So like, I guess something like this and Joker being what it was with the first movie, like, yeah, you get excited about it. That's cool. But again, for me, this definitely ain't it, fam. And I'm going to be really interested to see how it does. The musical element, because apparently, like at CinemaCon, they didn't call it a musical. Todd Phillips said something like, it's not a musical, it's a movie that uses music throughout as a tool or some shit like that. And I'm just like, that's fluffy Hollywood PR speak. Like, bro, it is absolutely going to be a musical. As far as I understand, it's a full-on musical. It's a bold choice. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. That's my thoughts. That's my thoughts on the Joker trailer and on Joker overall. Kind of like, I feel like Saitama in One Punch Man, where I'm just sitting there like, okay. That's, you know what I mean? Like, that's how I feel. Greatest Showman was good. Greatest Showman was good. And I actually, like, I was never a musical person, right? But we went and saw a musical a couple of years ago. We saw Phantom in New York City. And I have a appreciation for musical. Also saw Aladdin. Dude, I get it. Musicals are dope. Like, I get it now. But, bro, you are so far away from Joker and DC and Batman. Like, you're very far away from that, you know? So, yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think? The Sound of Music is the only good musical. Like, you didn't even put the recliner upright. Wait, what do you mean by that? You're talking about from, like, what we were talking about yesterday? Everyone is a musical person. All those animated movies you love have music. Those are musicals. What? You talking about like Aladdin and shit like that? The old Disney? This guy just can't. This guy's just always got to work some Disney love into his points. Adam's like, oh, well, you like cheese, right? Well, Disney's based on a cartoon mouse. Mice love cheese. You're a Disney fan. You know what I mean? Got to boost those stocks. Hey, you can't blame me for trying. Yeah, you're a Disney fan. You didn't know? Rogers the musical is MCU canon. I don't know what that means. What are you talking about? And also, please, for the love of God, destroy that in the reboot. Bro, just watch that X-Men 97 episode. Holy. Best superhero episode of TV I've ever watched. Yeah, dude. You're not wrong. It's that good. It's that good. Wait, Adam likes Disney? Yeah, no, he's all about it. That's his whole thing. Pushing the Disney of it all. Other companies have made musicals too. Yeah, all right. Musical Joker movie sounds like how great Andor is cinematically, but still not as great as a Star Wars project. Bad fit, in my opinion. That's a good point, and not just because you validated something I believe in, but let's get. I'll give you a golf clap for that one. That's pretty good. Matthew, well done. I hate it when they hide it in the marketing. Wait, what? Oh, hiding the musical in the marketing? Yeah. Yeah. I can do this all day. Yeah. Okay, what else should we do? What do I do with my hands? Joker 1 can be seen as a good movie, but not a good DC movie. Yeah, but so, like, I can still consider it a good DC movie, but I just consider it an Elseworld. Because, like, it still shows... Like, it does a good job of explaining the core element of Joker. My problem, though, is, like, Joker is usually a response to Batman. Joker and Batman have this, like, crazy relationship where, like, without Batman, Joker can't even exist. And, like, there's almost, like, a weird psychotic bromance between them, you know? Bam, bam. Gaming stream. I was thinking maybe we could do some gaming on Friday. Like, I'm not going to stream too much longer today. Probably go for like a half hour more, 45 minutes. Friday, we should be doing a long stream. Tonight at 7, we are doing a Nerdvenger stream. So we got 2 streams today. And we'll be doing the X-Men stuff tonight. X-Men stuff tonight. X-Men stuff tonight. Oh, wait, Superman. What am I talking about? I got X-Men on the brain. It's Superman tonight. New comic book day. I know. I got to check what comes out. Yeah, I'm gonna watch Fallout. Streaming tomorrow? No streams tomorrow. But we got a big old one on Friday. Okay, let me talk you through this. We got a big old stream on Friday. Then we've got at 7:30 Friday night a Diamond Lounge stream. I'm gonna take some shots. Hopefully, but Elisa doesn't hear him. She's like, "Oh no, you won't." I'm gonna take some shots on Friday. We're gonna get into some shit on Friday, man. I'm gonna spill my fucking guts. And then Sunday afternoon. Sunday afternoon, we're going to do a Prime stream, and I'm gonna speak on the business aspects of like my decision and stuff like that. How do I join the Nerdvengers tonight? Jay, here's what you do. You got to become a member, either here on YouTube, which costs like $5 a month, or on Twitch. Now, here's the thing. If you have Amazon Prime, you could technically become a member for free. You've got to go to our Twitch channel, and if you're an Amazon Prime customer, you get a free Twitch subscription every month. And you can go to our Twitch channel and become a member for free. Then you've got to go to the Discord, connect your Twitch to the Discord, and you'll be able to access the stream tonight on Discord. We have like, I don't know, usually we have 5 to 10, maybe 12 people that do that each week from Twitch. It's a little annoying because you don't just get it to pop up. You got to like go through the Discord. But technically, if funds are low, that's the way to do it, man. It still supports us. And then you are a member and you can get access to those streams. It is a lot of work. I'm not going to lie to you. It's annoying. If you don't want to go through all that, just give us $5 on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like, look, either way, that's what you got to do. I've only read a couple of issues of the OG Ultimates. I like the OG Ultimates, dude. A lot of it's like Mark Miller doing Mark Miller things, which I like. Give me $5. I'll sort it out for you. There you go. Boom. It's still $5? It should be. I don't know. Like, somebody showed me that YouTube makes it priced differently depending on either where you're at or... I don't know. Maybe Google knows what you have in your bank account and they're like, oh, guess what? It's going to cost you a little extra. I don't really know. I don't know how that shit works. Should we watch some other video here? Oh, you know what? Let me catch up on super chats that I haven't read yet. Let me catch up on some soupies I haven't read. Philip Hatch, welcome to the Prime level, brother. See you on Sunday. Rossi says, oh God, I'm hungover. Try not to be too loud. Rossi! Rossi, are you still watching? Rossi! Alex, thanks again. Showroom Saber says, much love to you, brother. Not been here in a while because of work. Missed the live time with you. Hope the fam and comic are going well. God bless you. Thanks, man, but I didn't sneeze. Appreciate you. Philip Hatch says, what are the odds they bring? Oh, yeah, we already talked about that. George Carlos says, thank you for the spoiler alert banner. I have you muted right now. Just watching the body language is pretty entertaining. That's fun. Nice, man. Alex says, as someone who never watched the original 97 X-Men, do I need to watch it prior to the new series? I don't think so. I don't think so, brother. What do you guys think? I think you can just do it, right? $7 for you. Is that because you're on Apple or something? I don't really understand why that happens. Yeah, I don't really understand. I don't really get it. Exodus says, where do you think the story is going next? These two characters are former Horsemen of the Apocalypse in the comics. Just saying. Yeah, it would be interesting if it was that. It could be Sinister. It could be Cassandra Nova. Maybe Cassandra Nova is using Sinister. I don't know. Wouldn't that be wild? No, but watch the original because it's good. Hey, Adam, since you're in here, and not you, Fan Jexer, I'm talking to the good Adam, the one that actually helps me out. I shouldn't say that. Adam's helped me out a lot in the past. And he sent me this really big, meaningful message that I completely ignored. Adam, much love. Okay, so, brother, I'm going to hit you up on Discord, but since I got you here, I think we need to abandon the one T-shirt design, and we just need to make a T-shirt design that says, nerds do it better. Kind of in the text that we did the Mutant Agenda one. I really like the, Supreme design that we have, but... the other one, I've been thinking about it. I don't think it's going to sell. Because we kind of brainstormed on it, and I think it's a cool design. I think we need to abandon that one. We just need one that says, nerds do it better. But, no, Adam, here's the thing. I didn't ignore it. I mean, I did kind of ignore it, but I thought about it, and I read it, and I was like, my idea was yesterday before the stream, I was going to try to get back to everybody's messages because I do appreciate you guys. Like Kendall reached out, Ryan reached out. I got to be honest with you. A lot of people reached out. I had a lot of people reached out after the video on Monday. And I appreciate all of you guys. And Adam, I think you got some good advice, man. Like, you're not wrong. It's just I think we'll be okay. And I think this is going to work out. We'll see how it all goes. You know, like it's going to be an experiment. And maybe like if it's just not working on the main channel. Because like the first clip video we did yesterday, like didn't do super well. But I expect that. I'm going to be uploading like a shit ton. And then what I'm really looking for is what do the numbers look like overall? I'm really less interested on like the individual views of a video anymore. I just really don't care. I'm looking for like, is this a viable option, period? And then I think moving forward from that, I think the clips are good. I think Brady does an incredible job on those edits. So I think over time you will see a lot of growth over there, you know? But yeah. You should go on Midnight's Edge. What is that? What's Midnight's Edge? What are you talking about? And also, hold that thought, EK, because I'm gonna go through some super chats. Just finished the episode. Have chills and tears in my eyes. Holy fuck, so good. Hashtag unity. Oh hell yeah, brother. The Exodus said. Oh, just answered that. Almost 1 year. Hype, says Benjamin. Fanjecture says 34 minutes of history-making comic book entertainment, start to finish. It captures a decade worth of X-Men goodness and reaches deep into our nerdy souls. Are you talking about this episode, bro? My point was less about numbers, it's consolidation for your viewers. Yeah, that's... Dude, again, you're probably right. You're talking about this episode? Yeah, it is. It is pretty good. So, Adam, I was right about Invincible in this show, right? Huh? That's pretty well. Tyler, hey, it's Tyler TM. Tyler TM, what's up, brother? 10 spot, very generous. Says, Shogun has been great. Bad Batch having its best season by far. And X-Men 97 is incredible. Feels good. It does feel good right now. I think it feels a little different. Like, this isn't the heyday of, like, you know, leading up to Infinity War, leading up to The Last Jedi, or there were a couple of moments like when The Boys was having its pop off, and so was Invincible. To me personally, it feels different, but it's like I'm in awe of the quality, but I think fans have disengaged a little bit from like fan discussion and that whole thing. Maybe there's even a little fan fatigue. So like from my perspective, it feels a little bit differently, but like I'm trying to just kind of let that go and just appreciate what we have. And it's true. Like this stuff's incredible. And my weeks are filled with incredible content right now between Shogun, Solo Leveling, which I'm really enjoying. The Fallout show, which is coming out, Invincible, which I did enjoy having as a anchor in the week, X-Men 97, Bad Batch. Like, yeah, man, like we're kind of spoiled right now for sure. So, yeah, it's good shit. And I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Dude, I need to watch Solo Leveling. I really like it. Kind of, okay, there's some interesting things going on with Solo Leveling. I've got my best friend is like a super hardcore weeb. He's like super into anime, okay? And he was talking to me about Solo Leveling years ago because it's a Korean manga. There's a word for it. I don't remember. But it kind of popped off. It was a web comic, and then its manga was like colored, which is a little different for, manga. And so it popped off. It had a moment. He is really frustrated with the show. Manhwa, thank you. He is really frustrated with the show because of its pacing and some shit like that. And I get it. I'm over here like I'm enjoying it. Like I'm enjoying Solo Leveling. I don't have the context of what the manga was like. So, like I like the show. I've also heard and I've seen some articles come out that it's not really doing that well in Japan, which is also interesting because this thing was really hype. Like when that manga came out, it was like really, really hype. But now the show itself and the ratings in Japan are not very strong. It seems to have a lot of international appeal, but not to the Japanese. And I'm just sitting here like, bro, y'all better keep making this fucking show because I really like it, and I would hate for, because like the Japanese are kind of, they're different with their media. They don't care as much about the international audience. If it pops in Japan, it's they're gonna keep doing it. If it's not popping in Japan, it's not a high priority for them. Tower of God is a manhwa. I like Tower of God too. Koreans know like Japanese. I'm not sure about all that, you know? I don't really know all the dynamics over there. I know the Japanese pissed a lot of motherfuckers off in that area because they were super imperialist for a while, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know on all that. I don't know. I don't know about that, man. I'm watching Shogun. I'm learning with the rest of you, right? But yeah, Solo Leveling's cool, bro. I got the manga over here. I just haven't read it yet, but I got the manga right over there. Definitely want to dive into that, though, for sure. Koreans know like Carl's. That's probably facts. That's probably facts right there, bro. They hated Chainsaw Man in Japan, but it's popular in America, so that's why we got a second season. That's why we didn't get a second season of Chainsaw Man yet. Yeah, that's what I mean, is like they really only care about like the local ratings and stuff like that. LMAO, marry, kill, fuck, Japan, England, or Canada. I love Japan. I actually want to move in Japan. I actually want to die in Japan. If I have to die, unless they invent like, you know, cybernetics and conscious transfer into new clone bodies and shit like that. Like I actually want to retire in Japan and just spend the twilight of my life writing about Zen in a little house in the Japanese mountains. That's actually what I want to do. But y'all better not fuck up Solo Leveling for me. That's the thing, you know? So it's a mixed bag. Star Wars Celebration Tokyo 2025. I don't think I'm going, bro. Like, I want to go to Japan. I want to be excited about Star Wars. Like, I just don't know. Exactly. Like, what's there to celebrate? That's kind of my problem. Is like, I genuinely don't feel good when I think about the current state of Star Wars. So, yeah. Celebrate it being in Japan. Maybe you were just celebrating Bad Batch. Yeah, I like Bad Batch. I like Ahsoka, even though everybody loves to remind me that it wasn't a perfect, flawless show, and it didn't have as good a cinematography as fucking Andor, and it didn't have some stupid simp motherfucker with a relationship with his mom and he's eating cereal. But I like Ahsoka. Tales of the Empire looks sick. Anakin is a simp too. Yeah. He simped for Padme in Attack of the Clones. You mean like one of the worst Star Wars movies ever made? Attack of the Clones? Is that what we're talking about? Attack of the Clones? I mean, do we got to go there? We're going there? I don't know if do we have to? Attack of the Clones? No. Attack of the Clones? Attack of the Clones is maybe... It's definitely one of the least watched Star Wars movies on my list. I watch Phantom Menace a lot. I watch Sith a lot. Empire and Sith and Return of the Jedi are like the top 3 that I watch. I can't even tell you the last time I watched Attack of the Clones. The only movie I've watched less than Attack of the Clones is Solo. And I've watched Solo one time in theaters, and I've tried to watch it again, and every single time I turn it off. Solo is the only Star Wars movie that I have not watched more than once. Does that make sense? Like, I despise Solo. What is it about Solo that you hate? Oh, man. How much time do we got? Okay. Solo is a big, steaming pile of horseshit. It has so much stuff that doesn't feel like Star Wars. It has a checklisty, like, memberberry thing that it, like, when he got his name as Solo, when he gets the DL-44 meeting Chewbacca, all of this stuff, it's like they reverse engineered all the things you would need to do for a Solo movie and then do it. On top of that, the movie looks like shit. Every single planet is this desaturated, gray, goobly glob garbage. And the reason that is because they fired Lord and Miller with 2 weeks left of principal photography. And then when Ron Howard came in, he had to take all the color out of a lot of the stuff they shot so that it all looked like it was on the same or similar planets. So it looks like shit. It doesn't feel like Star Wars. It's the most inorganic, inauthentic, memberberry list of bullshit I've ever seen in my life. There's aspects of the movie that I like that are completely abandoned, like Thandie Newton. She was fucking phenomenal. What's the guy's name? Woody Harrelson. Woody Harrelson is Woody Harrelson in the movie, which is fine when he's in the unit with his family and everything. He buries them and then doesn't give a fuck about them, instantly doing the next thing. Oh my God. Kira's lame as fuck. The Memphis Nest girl that looks like she couldn't harm a fly or lift 40 pounds is the villain. Horrible, stupid, ridiculous. Solo is a big steaming pile of shit. Solo is so bad, I can't believe the Star Wars fandom didn't riot. It's awful. It's like truly awful. Of course, that's my opinion. I know people that really like Solo. That's fine. You can like it. It's all good. But I literally will never watch that movie again. I did see it in theaters. That's the only time I finished it. Solo was okay. Agree to disagree. Would you rather watch Andor or Solo? Andor. Easy. Andor. Easy. But here's the thing. I don't have to make that choice, luckily. I very much dislike both of those projects. But yeah. Only two movies we'll not watch again is Rise of Skywalker and The Last Jedi. I haven't watched them in a long time. But yeah. Andor, come on, Josh. Just pretend it's the EU and you'll like it. Maybe, okay? But here's the thing here's another like layer to the Andor thing, is it was presented as Star Wars for adults, and even the language used by like Kathy and the promotion as they were leading into it was like, this is what Star Wars is now. So if they had just said, here's a little slice of Star Wars that's a little different, we think you might enjoy, I might have actually like been able to do what you're talking about. But they didn't do that. Like they spent like I think it was what, $215 million on Andor. and another 100 million on promotion. It's probably more than 100 million because they started doing the network television push because nobody would watch it. So they probably spent like $350 million on Andor. Do you know what I mean? That's crazy. Like, that's crazy. It's only one show, though. Star Wars isn't going to be making changes. We got Dave Filoni making Goobly Glob still. Well, thank God for the Goobly Glob, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, I mean, sure, it's just one show. But I think it's a mistake. I think it was a mistake, ultimately. Josh, watch Secret Invasion again? Bro, no. I think Secret Invasion is worse than Andor. In fact, guys, is Secret Invasion the worst thing that Marvel's ever done? It's like, it almost has to be, right? What's worse than that? Like, what? Thor 4? Nah, dude, Secret Invasion is worse. In my opinion. Inhumans? Sure, but I'm talking about the MCU. Inhumans, though, yeah. You got a point on that. I've never seen it. I remember I boycotted that movie. Back when my channel had, I think we had like 2,000 subscribers when that show was coming out, and I literally tried to get people to boycott it. And I remember people being like, dude, you're so toxic. Why would you do that before the shit even comes out? Inhumans was better. She-Hulk was worse. I don't even think She-Hulk was worse. Like, that finale was whack. The overall tone of the show is all over the place. And I think She-Hulk was a big mistake. But, dude, Secret Invasion? Secret Invasion, dude? Ugh. You're immature, Josh? No, I'm not. You are. How about that? Love and Thunder definitely bottom. I mean, Love and Thunder was pretty bad. Not going to deny that. She-Hulk had moments for sure. I think Abomination and Tim Roth were really funny in that show. I thought it was good. Quantum Mania, that's true actually. Quantum Mania might be worse. I fucking hate Quantum Mania, dude. Like, with a passion. I like the Daredevil stuff. I thought it was cool. Yeah, I like Daredevil and She-Hulk. Wong and She-Hulk's not bad. He's not bad. And what's that chick that was like Wongers? What's her name? And then she spelled it all weird or whatever. Madison with a S-Y-N or something like that. Yeah. 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 Yeah, Madison, exactly. Eternals was a hot piece of garbage, sleeped up as a sleeping pill. I actually, I got a soft spot for the Eternals. I'll be real. Like, the first couple acts of that movie I thought were pretty brilliant. It just, like, quickly pivots and dissolves into, like, MCU, which just was so jarring, and then it kind of loses. Like, even though the end is very cool and the action's fun, it, like, kind of disregards a lot of shit that it takes a long time building. I think Eternals could have been much better. I gotta say, there's some conceptual problems I have with Eternals. Where, like, I would have sat Chloe down, right? And I would have said, like, depending on what her pitch was, right? I would have been like, yeah, but this is quintessential Jack Kirby, so it needs to be bright and poppy and bombastic. So if your vision doesn't align with that, then maybe a different project. Because, like, that sort of muted... Like, it just doesn't feel like Jack Kirby shit. So I don't like it. And it also is weird because the MCU has that kind of flavor, that poppiness, that fun. Like the Marvel commercial we watched yesterday with the Cokes, that's Marvel. And you need that even in the Eternals. You need it to feel like that. And I don't think she was concerned with doing that. You know? Chloe should have done Thor 4. Yeah, perhaps. And maybe Taika would have been better on Eternals. For real. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting commentary there. Josh, what did you think of 3 Body Problem? I loved it, man. I really did. I thought it was fantastic. It's almost like a prologue because there's just so much more that's going to happen and a lot that you're like, it kind of just ends and you're like, oh shit, but what about, you know? So yeah, I think we better get it season 2 because I really enjoyed season 1, but it's kind of hard to say. I don't know how well it's doing for them. It's very heady. So it's really cerebral, which I like. Like, that's my shit, but not for everybody. You know what I mean? It's not for everybody. At least I can smile at some of Thor. Even She-Hulk. Secret Invasion is a slap in the face. Yeah, no, that's right. I think that's right. I can't believe they made Secret Invasion like that. They should have pulled the plug on that shit. For sure. I guess we know who didn't watch the video. What video? What are you even talking about? Josh, which show do you think has handled the Empire the best in Star Wars? Which show? Probably Bad Batch. It's either Bad Batch or Rebels. What do you think we would get tomorrow at CinemaCon? Oh, CinemaCon's still going? Is there like Marvel shit happening tomorrow? Is that what you're talking about? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're talking about? That's cool. I don't know. Hopefully we get something though. That'd be fun. But the stormtroopers are buffoons in the shows. Stormtroopers are always buffoons. Stormtroopers literally only aim well once in Star Wars, and it's off screen. Yeah, in A New Hope. 100%. 100%. They're goofy as fuck in A New Hope. They, the only thing they do, and it's so funny because in hindsight, you're like, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. But Obi-Wan says to Luke, sand people aren't this accurate. Only Imperial stormtroopers are so precise. And then for the rest of the movie, they're like, like shooting around every fucking buddy. Yeah. Yeah, they're efficient in the opening scene and then off camera. And then they quickly become the stormtroopers that we all know. So. Yeah, it's kind of just an ongoing joke about the troopers. Like, they kind of suck. But, I mean, I like the Death Troopers, so I feel like I'm really excited for Tales of the Empire. I think we're going to get some good stuff in there, for sure. For sure. But they're competent in Andor, though? Are they? Yeah, I don't know. I mean... That's good, I guess. That's good. I like the Death Troopers, though. They're really cool. Man, Star Wars has so much potential. I just feel like... I kind of can't believe we've gotten to where we're at with Star Wars. Because I don't even think it's hard. Like, I don't understand what we're doing here. Like, it seems like Star Wars is, like... almost easy to tell. I don't know. Not to keep rehashing, but from streaming perspective, I think you in theory should get back together for like once a month streams. Yeah, I mean, I'm open to something like that for sure. It's been mostly Army troopers in Andor, not stormtroopers. Oh, really? Yeah, I watched about half of the show, so I don't really know. It's because of Disney and KK. No, I agree. I mean, I think so. I think Kathleen does not understand Star Wars. Like, does anybody doubt that at this point? I think she understands production. I think she understands Hollywood. I don't think she understands Star Wars. Like, when we were watching that interview and Leslie Hedman was like, yeah, I mean, everybody in the room was not sure about my pitch, but Kathy liked it. I was like, ooh. Ooh. That's how I felt. Tells the Empire stories Tarkin, Royal Guards, Death Troopers, Vader's servant. Yes. Exactly what I was going to say. She understands that part, but not the other. Yeah, totally. Deadpool 3T? I don't think we got any new T. Let me look at the, let me check the Reddit. Check it out. I think right now everybody's just hyped on, whoa. Yeah, everybody's just hyped up on 97. This is kind of wild. Bo says here, my plan was for the first half of the season is OG audiences pre 9/11 days, rife with nostalgia and comfort. Then 9/11, like Tulsa and other mass tragedies, turned the world upside down and reminded us the whole world is unsafe. Don't forget Gene, who now faces the memory disassociation and identity crisis that many survivors of sexual assault face. Sinister's your mind, your body, you have no choice line was deliberate. His violation of not saying when they're switched has turned her mind against itself. Yeah, I mean, dude, the guy wrote incredible stuff here. You know, like, you kind of can't deny that, regardless of what comes out or whatever. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything that we could talk about now. So we'll try to have a long stream on Friday, guys. I've got plenty of clips and plenty of stuff coming out on the main channel and the clips channel over today and the next couple of days. No streams tomorrow. Tonight at 7, we're doing more Superman stuff. So we're going to finish off that Superman documentary, watch some other videos about Superman. So I'm excited for that. And otherwise, I will see you guys Friday. We'll try to do a lengthy stream, man. I'll try to go like 3-4 hours, maybe even more if I figure out how to eat on stream. If you guys have any ideas of how to eat on stream, like, what do I just do this? Like, should I just like... Like, is that what we... Should we do that? With your mouth. Good idea, bro. Nachos, wings in the blender. That feels sacrilegious, bro. Get a DoorDash sponsor? Well, that solves the food. I'm talking about how do I eat on stream. Like, should we just go full mukbang and I'm just like jacking up the gain and we're doing ASMR? Put a YouTube video on and mute your mic? That's not a bad idea, man. Get a horse feeding bag? I don't know what that is, but I don't like the sound of it. Straight up, no splashing. Yeah, just eat. Oh, okay. Jesus, is that simple? That's all you gotta do is just eat? What's up with this fucking music, bro? Why does this music keep turning off, bro? What the fuck's that about, bro? I don't like it. People will clip you eating. I've been clipped doing worse. Who cares? Hey, who even cares? You know what I mean? Yeah. All right, everybody. Much love. Just be a man and don't eat. What are you talking about, dude? You need to eat. You need foods, man. You need the foods. Why do you sound like Macho Man? What? I don't know what that means. What's my favorite foods? Probably chicken wings. Fast? Yeah, but there's some crazy studies that just came out about fasting and intermittent fasting. I don't know. I don't know. All right, everybody. Much love. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here. Hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video. Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Ooh. Sorry about that fart. Another happy landing. Hope you guys had a good time. Thank you very much for your time, your attention. Thank you for the super chats, member chats. Thank you for the comments, the likes, the subscribes, the Twitch Prime dealy dallies. I appreciate all the support. Thank you very much. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. We'll have videos and clips and whatnot coming out. And then we'll be back at it on Friday. And tonight, if you're a member, talking about Superman, and I love that shit. Make sure you open up your third eye and wash out your stinky bud. Oh.